We are live.
All righty. Okay. So we are also back from IBPSA, which is a lot of fun. Thank you, everybody, for saying hello to us. It was so nice
Yeah.
to meet everybody.
I always love conferences when you get to see people in person and meet people that you've only seen names on the chat. That was really fun as well. So
Yes, that's always fun. I'm having a problem getting us live on Instagram, so let me try that again.
okay.
Okay, it's not working. Technical difficulties.
Yeah. It's interesting. I'm just going to make this comment because I think we've seen it, you and I, the last few conferences we've been at, but there are definitely more people who are new to the industry. And I'm excited to see that they're going to conferences to get information before they just kind of take that leap of faith and don't know everything there is to know about the pet care industry. So that's pretty exciting. And on that note, are you still trying to get us to go live?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to do it this time.
Okay.
I'm having to click and do all sorts of things, and now I'm feeling like I'm messing it up more. Okay, wait, hold on. I might be in. Let's see, save changes. I had to update the stream key.
All right, looks like we're good. There's a check mark next to it. So
it's still not live on the Instagram end, but it's okay.
Okay.
That's fine. All right. So let me go ahead and get started. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Yay, hump day.
Yay.
Welcome to the camel. Yeah. Welcome to the Dog Gurus Live, and thank you for joining us. So if you can see us and hear us, you know what we're going to ask. We're going to ask you to write it in the chat so we know that everything's working well. Except for if you're on Instagram, you probably can't be seeing. Oh, no, we are working on Instagram now. Sweet.
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right. Now I feel better. All right. So I'm Shantae Marquez, and I'm joined with the fabulous Carrie Campbell. And we both are profit network coaches for the Dog Gurus. And the Dog Gurus provide pet care business education and coaching. We give expert guidance with proven strategies and comprehensive resources to help pet care businesses thrive. So whether you're running a daycare, boarding facility, grooming salon, training center, or all of the above, our goal is to support you in delivering the highest care quality while maximizing your business potential. So, all right. And today, before I start getting into our topic, I do want to let everybody know that next week we are going to be doing a webinar with some very trusted partners, Live Oak and TWC. I'll go ahead and add that. And it's called Pause to Profit. So this would be a perfect webinar for you to join if you are a startup that's going to be leasing or building out a new facility and you need to begin doing some renovations, or maybe you're an existing business and you need to renovate, or you're an existing business and you're looking to start up your second, third, or build out a new facility. So this would be the webinar for you because we're going to talk about all the ins and outs of getting lending for that project, as well as design and construction aspects of the project. And then our specialty is just getting you prepared with the operations of the project, of the business, I should say. So that is Tuesday, October 8th at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. And there is a link on the page right now, but we'll also put the link in the comments. And you can go ahead and sign up because it'll be fun. And plus, the people that we're doing the webinar with are a lot of fun. There's a lot of jokes we cracked. I don't know if, maybe they'll clean up their act when we're actually talking, but on behind the scenes, it's just nothing but laughs. So
they are a good group to hang with.
They are. And we had a lot of fun at IBPSA with them too. You could probably hear our table laughing, roaring laughing as we were trying to eat dinner that last night. So, all right. So today, what we are going to be talking about is how to introduce your enrichment program to your customers. And, before we dive into the verbiage and, ways to explain it, I think there's a little bit of prep work that we should discuss because you want to be prepared. You always want to be prepared. You can't just dive into things. And a couple weeks ago, we did a Facebook Live about rolling out a beta program of the enrichment program. So this is kind of the next step to it. So first of all, when you're going to really start doing your enrichment program, you want to have an enrollment period. And your enrollment period really gives you time to talk to your clients and allow them to digest, allow them to ask questions, to really understand what the program is. And, I would say like really maybe 2-3 weeks an enrollment period would be. But during this enrollment period, you would start in phases. So phase 1 would be picking the customers who are absolutely going to jump at this program. Maybe those are the people that you had involved in the beta test. But, it's customers that will respond well, you have good relationships, they're the best customers, they'll be well received. Start with those people. You want to build your confidence. You want to get the verbiage right, get comfortable with talking about it. But I would start with them. And then phase 2 can kind of be with everybody else. And I think, did you do something like that, Carrie, when you rolled it out?
We did. And I actually, when I rolled it out, we added a membership program simultaneously. So what I did for my top 10 clients was that I gave them what I call a VIP membership. So for the first 6 months, they didn't pay the membership fee. And then they, and that was partly just because they had been such loyal clients that, the price of daycare was going to go up, but we didn't want to give them kind of the double whammy just because of their loyalty. So, so that was another thing that we did, but the majority of them were all the dogs that were in our beta test.
Yeah, and Carrie we both rolled it out a little differently. Like Carrie went completely 100% enrichment, and I just kind of eased into it by offering enrichment services along with my traditional daycare. And I think both ways are great. For me, I had a lot of competition in my area and nobody else was offering this. And so, and as well as nobody else was doing the structured play period where everybody else was doing all day play in my competition. So I really had an uphill battle with educating people. But in the end, look, I was, had the most reviews. I was very top rated and we charged the most, but we were the most successful. So if you turn out a good product, it can work. Just have faith.
Well, and I think we mentioned this when we were talking about the beta program a couple of weeks ago, is that pick those dogs that come into your traditional daycare groups now that kind of take the room off the rails. The ones that come in and they're the most overstimulated, and work with them in the beta program and see. I think your staff is going to notice the difference right away, but see if the pet parents start to see the difference as well. Because that's a really good test, is to see how much you can change the dynamic of the dog's behavior just by introducing enrichment to them.
Absolutely. So then the next, after you kind of start talking to customers about it, you really want to be, during this enrollment period and actually before, you want to be working on your marketing materials. So first and foremost, I think you should make a list of the marketing materials that will need to be changed, like website and maybe brochures or something like that. And then next, create a list of anything new marketing materials that you're going to be creating. And then create your emails that you're going to be sending out to your clients. And in phase 1 email will be a little different than phase 2 because those are the people that you're handpicking to be asked to join first. And so that's their exclusive invitation. And they have first, dibs at joining the program. Because a lot of you who will be creating this program, when you design it, you're going to understand there's only a certain amount of dogs that you're going to be able to service that day with enrichment. So it will be limited, which is another reason why you need to be charging a higher price for it. Right? I mean, with the enrichment groups, typically, you want to have 6 or less dogs in an enrichment group so that way you can still have these activities and it be like one-on-one attention with it. So you'll have to do the math and figure out how, staffing and all that stuff, but you won't be able to just roll it out and offer it to everybody smoothly. So start in phases.
Okay. Another back of the house tip is that don't forget on your kind of checklist of what to do in the process of introducing this is that you change your pricing structure in your POS system. So however you make your reservations, that you either created a new reservation type with that or that you've adjusted the price on an existing reservation type.
Yeah. Yeah, and also it's not only going to be you preparing to have these talking points with the customers, but your staff too. So let's dig into that, because I think change is scary, and especially if you're somebody who's been doing all day daycare at your facility and you're switching to this enrichment model, it's scary. And I think people are really fearful of the pushback. And yeah, you're probably going to have pushback from a couple people, but after you properly explain all the benefits as to why you're switching this to this program, I think that you're going to be pleasantly surprised that people will be thankful of it. So I know, Carrie, you have some great analogies. Do you want to share?
Well, yeah, the other thing I was going to say about what you just commented on is that don't assume that you know the clients that will give you pushback, because what shocked me was the clients that in my mind I was going to kind of price out of their budget are the ones who stayed and figured out a way that their dog could still come 1 or 2 days a week to daycare instead of a massage or manicure, whatever they gave up. And then the people who had a lot of excess cash that I assumed would just continue on the same schedule actually reduced to maybe 2 days a week instead of 3 days a week. So it's very interesting. Everybody has a different priority set in their budget and how they spend their extra money. So just keep that in mind too as you're looking at those you're going to roll it out to. But my thing is, I found the best way to start talking to pet parents about enrichment is to definitely use human analogies. So there's a lot of different ways that we overhumanize dogs in the incorrect way. But what we should be doing is giving pet parents an idea of, in a human analogy, why this is a great benefit for the dog. So my first is always to use like a shy dog and compare a shy dog to an introverted dog, just like humans can be extroverts and introverts. So, maybe that dog comes into daycare in the traditional format and is overwhelmed and kind of a wallflower. They don't necessarily engage. Maybe they do first thing in the morning when there's fewer dogs, and maybe at the end of their day when there's fewer dogs. But when the entire group is there, they're not as engaged. So think about it, from the perspective of an introvert having to go to a big conference or to a party with a lot of people and how uncomfortable they can feel. People can relate to that.
And with that party, though, this is how I would explain it to especially people with middle-aged dogs or older dogs. Like, the daycare scene can be like going to a party with a bunch of teeny boppers, like 13-year-olds.
Like, who wants to hang out with them?
I can do small doses. Okay, I'll survive. But if I have to do 6 hours, 8 hours, oh my gosh, no, thank you. Okay.
Exactly. If you're talking about the mental stimulation aspect, think about puzzles. Humans do Sudoku, crossword puzzles. I mean, there's so many different things just in the New York Times every day that people can do that keep their mental acuity and their brains sharp. It's the same for dogs. They need to have that mental stimulation in order to really work their brains and exhaust them faster than just doing physical activities. I remember somebody brought to daycare, I think it was a German short-haired pointer. And this dog had so much energy. The guy would actually bike his dog 5 miles to daycare. It's like the dog running alongside his bike. Just like he would bike. Yeah. Bike.
Like he bit his dog.
No, bike, like pedal bike.
What?
So he would be biking to my daycare with the dog running alongside of him. And then he'd say, well, I think I've just taken the edge off, so he should be good for daycare today. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, he's conditioned this dog to need a 5-mile run just to come to daycare and be appropriate. Whereas if we had enrichment back in those early days, we could have done something like that would have probably mentally exhausted the dog so much faster, and he would have been more appropriate. So just think about it from a mental stimulation standpoint and things that we do to engage our brain that are, just ways to kind of keep our physical exercise. Humans go to gyms. They don't like to do the exact same thing every day. Unless you're an Olympian that's doing a marathon, or you're a marathoner and you're doing that kind of repetitive running. most people like some variation in their exercise. So one day they'll do cardio, the next day they'll do weights, or, someday they do yoga, another day they may be on a treadmill. Whatever that is, it's that variation that makes it more interesting for humans. And it also works different parts of our bodies. Same with physical exercise in dogs. So when you can come up with those tips for pet parents, then they can relate to it a little bit easier. Imagine from a routine basis. Right now, dogs come to daycare in a traditional format. They go into a group and they're basically there all day long. They're just playing, they're engaging. Some dogs are good at self-regulating and will actually take breaks. Other dogs are not. So maybe that's the dog that behaviorally you have to give them a timeout every once in a while. From a routine perspective, we need to have some sort of, change in our day. It would be very monotonous if we got up and did the exact same thing every single day, whether it was at an office or, if you work at a campus as a teacher or something like that. Every single day, if our life was identical, it would be like, the Groundhog Movie with Bill Murray, right? You just wake up and you keep going through the same thing over and over again. It would get very monotonous. So dogs having a different routine can give them some more enjoyment, and they will get more out of the different activities. Scent work. Think about us. We like to smell flowers. We like to smell good. We'll wear cologne or perfume. I mean, there's a lot of things that we do as humans to kind of differentiate ourselves from other people. And dogs are the same way. Giving them the opportunity to smell different smells is, again, activating different senses for them, working on different aspects of their brain, and just giving them variety that they don't necessarily have in their day-to-day lives. Anything else you want to think of, Shantae? I mean, I can go there's lots of rest and relaxation, things like that.
I mean, overall, you're doing it for the benefit of the dog. One thing that we would tell customers is that it's like Montessori school for dogs, which that clicked really well for them, and then they kind of got it, because it's not a activities is not a one size fits all approach to their care. So when you talk about that, they're like, oh, okay, now I'm getting it. There's more individualized attention that they're going to be receiving, and it's going to be a higher quality of activity level that you're providing. So I think it's really important to focus on that with them, and don't get so hung up about the actual specific activities. Yes, those are fun to talk about, and you should talk about them, but it's not about completing the activity. It's about the fact that they're getting this individual attention doing the activity with the staff member. And in order to do that, that costs more money. And so that's, really why you have to be charging a higher price. So I think that's important to mention. And of course, when you're ready to roll this out, this enrollment period, you should have plenty of videos.
Absolutely. Yeah, you want to have that sample to be posting on social media. So
yeah, that's huge. And that really does help sell the program. I mean, if you just show pictures and videos, there's not much more that needs to be said, because they definitely tend to want their dogs to do those things too.
Well, the other thing you just reminded me of is what I was saying in my presentation last week. The bottom line is you can express to the pet parent, you're doing what is in the best interest of their dog, and you're meeting their dog where they're at. So whether they have a puppy or they have a 12-year-old, whether it's a dog that has a physical disability or ailment, or if it's a dog that's young and super energetic, either way, you're going to meet the dog where they're at and what their capabilities are. And then you're going to do the activities that are best suited for them. And I think when you really describe that individuality and that one-on-one attention, it makes a lot more sense for them.
Yeah. Yeah. And often dogs that were shy or tend to be the dogs that by the end of the day were developing bad habits and annoying the other dogs. That kind of went away when you started doing these enrichment activities. But the shy dogs, if you put them in a smaller group, whether it's just a couple dogs or even that group of 6, I mean, they will get a little bit more comfortable than being in a big group. And
they blossom. My little wallflowers all.
Yeah. I also think the rest is just as important as the activity. I mean, what I used to tell people is that, look, what do you think would happen if your child was in recess for 8 hours?
Can you imagine 1 hour of curriculum, 8 hours of recess?
Yeah, I mean, that's
Work that way.
probably not gonna be good. Somebody's gonna get hurt, you know?
Yep.
So it's kind of the same type of thing. And once I explained it to them in that way, and that overall it's benefit, we can't just keep running them all day. Um, an exhausted dog is not a good thing. Okay. We want an exercise dog, but we do not want an exhausted dog. And mental activities can be just as stimulating as physical activities for them.
If not more so, you
If
know.
not more so.
I
Yeah.
mean, think about, that's another analogy is just talk about pet parents. You sit in front of a computer all day at a desk and you can be exhausted at the end of the day, even though physically all you've done is stare, read, type. There's not any big physical activity to sitting at a desk, but mentally you could be pretty exhausted just from all of that work.
Oh, I'm often exhausted just by thinking about all the things that I need to do.
Have to do that.
I'm not even doing them. So I don't know.
So true.
I'm stressed out just thinking about it. So I'm sure you guys out there you feel me on that.
I know you start spinning up on, I have to get so much done.
I know. Just, overall, whenever you start to doubt yourself or you start to feel like, stressed out about, making all these changes or your staff is giving you pushback, go back to your why. Remember your why. I mean, that's what it's about. It's about creating a really great, positive environment for the pets that you serve. We did not get into this business because we want pets to get sick or hurt or whatever. We got into this business because we love them and we want to do the best for them. And so you'll always remember that and you'll be fine. That's what I think. Yeah. All right. Anything else that you want to add?
Well, I would just say if you have an announcement that is, whether you're doing social media or you're going to go with kind of those VIP clients that are your first group you want to reach out to, make sure that you are descriptive in, whether it's an email or however you're going to do that announcement, that you're kind of highlighting the difference between, what is enrichment daycare. So describe it a little bit, and then why enhancing the dog's life by doing these activities is going to make a big difference for them. And then if you want to list anything that's specific about the training you're doing for your staff, so they know how to engage the dogs, anything like that shows how much effort you put into designing and implementing the program, goes to show why there's an increase in price and why it's worth the value that they'll receive. So
yeah, in email, put in your links to Vimeo or YouTube, however you post your videos, put those links in there so they can see it, because that's going to sell your product for you.
We had put in our letter, we've never taken a one-size-fits-all approach. And based on our experience or research in the pet care industry, we know that dogs can become bored and some are unsuccessful in traditional play groups. So if we can do small group activities and individual activities, we're changing the dog's experience throughout the day, which is giving better behaviors as a result. And then I'll read my last little blip that I put in there. Where was it? Shantae was just reading it to you. Yeah, we put spots will be limited as our focus is more one-on-one attention with each dog. We no longer want to be lifeguards on the edge of the pool. We want to be in the water, teaching and training everyone to become a better swimmer. So yeah, really highlighting the fact that it's going to be more exclusive and that, you are going to cap the number of dogs that you can work with every day. So it's kind of giving them that first sneak peek and, sign up now, kind of put some urgency to it. So, and for us, when we switched, we used to have 100 dogs a day, and I literally wanted to cut my census of dogs down in half. And that would have been 50 dogs a day, but it inched its way back up, and where we settled was 60 dogs a day. And we, like I was saying earlier, we thought we had people who we would price out of the market, and they ended up, continuing to come. And at the same time, we had people who we thought would not bat an eye at the price increase, and they chose to reduce the number of days that they were coming. So, you can never really get a good read on that. But there will be some people who do leave the program, and then they'll come back when they realize how special it is, and then they can be upset because they don't have a spot. So, like, I told you so.
Well, and I'm sure, Carrie, you priced it appropriately. So reducing the amount of dogs that you're caring for each day, you're still making the same money, if not more, because you priced your service appropriately. So,
that's really looking at what are the true costs to
Yep.
provide the service, including, adding a portion of your fixed costs. So your rent, your utilities, things that you have to pay every month, no matter how many dogs you have in the facility. And then once you get the true cost, then adding whatever your profit margin is. So you want 10%, 15%, and that's where you get your pricing structure for it. And then if you add a membership program, that's just the gravy on top. So that's that additional revenue that you get to bring in. And, you may, depending on how you structure that, have different items that are attached to each different membership level. So there's a little bit of labor involved or some cost depending on what you're giving away within the membership structure. But overall, the way it's priced, it should just be bringing in additional revenue each month.
Absolutely. All right. So, the other thing that we forgot to mention is we have a new website launched. So go check it out. We're really proud of it. It's a new look and feel. It's the same old good content in there. We just have, refreshed it for you. So if you haven't checked it out, please go take a look. We're pretty proud of it. And then the other thing that I'll invite you to do is join our Facebook group, Grow Your Pet Care Business. It's a great place to network and just have a support group. So, because I guarantee whatever you're going through, somebody else has gone through it too, and they can help you. All right. We just have 2 rules: be nice and no selling in that group. That's all we ask. Have a wonderful day. And
wait, before we leave, let's mention that next week we are going to be live with Joe Zuccarello from Paragon Grooming. So anybody is looking for tips and tricks on hiring groomers, retaining groomers, how to structure pay for groomers, Joe is our expert. So he will be with us next week. So be sure to join us, and note that we are going to be live 30 minutes early in order to accommodate all our schedules. So we'll be live at 3 p.m. Eastern next week instead of 3:30.
Yeah, he is a great speaker. I love listening to him. So you'll definitely get a lot of good information. But yes, of course, it will be recorded. So if you can't make it at 3 p.m. Eastern, you can always go back to our Facebook page and it'll be in our feed, or you can go to our videos and you can view it there. But I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, it should be a good presentation. So,
all right. Take care, everybody, and have a good rest of your day.
Bye-bye.